Why did I come on this trip? That was a good question, and I asked myself that many times. Of course, I just happened to be in a faculty meeting where I heard Michelle talking to, must have been Hallie, and I heard the word Africa trip, and I thought, oh my God, African trip. So I went up to Michelle and asked her, well, what about nursing students or the nursing faculty or anything like that? And of course she said, yeah, this is like our inaugural trip. We'll just go and see what happens. So I was really excited because I had no clue about what I really wanted. What I do know, it's always been, and probably a lot of people's dream, to go to Africa. You've read about it, you've heard about it, but to actually experience it. And I thought, wow, and then to be able to experience with the person that knows what they're doing and not on a tour, and maybe a chance to do some good or make some connections, or just go there and just let happen to you or to me happen. So I was really psyched about going. My children, who I keep saying they're so conservative, and I think they traded them in the hospital at birth, all thought I'm going to get some kind of disease or kidnapped. My sister's freaking out. Oh, don't go to Africa, don't go to Africa. What happens this? And I said, look, it is what it is. I'm meant to go or I won't be able to raise the money, and that's what I truly believe. I was meant to go to Africa.
Okay, why was I interested? I guess, as an educator, I realized that this was an incredible opportunity for our students, and I mean, selfishly for myself, to come to Africa for the first time. I mean, this is the place where it started, right? So I thought it was a really great idea, and of course, working with Michelle Wells, she said, hey, isn't this a good idea? And I thought, well, I'll answer it in theory, and then the next time I talked to her, she's like, hey, I picked a date. Let's try to populate this trip. And so that's a very, you just start going. And why do I want to come? I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with books and discussions and classrooms and, fiction, and to create empathy and learning. But I think to go to a place and to offer our students true global awareness. I mean, I have those icons in my class, and I believe in them. It's not that, but it's not the same. It's not the same as an opportunity to go somewhere and learn people and places and feel that tangibly.
Well, I think I wanted to come to Kenya because when I was a teenager, I'd read Out of Africa, and I was really fascinated with that book, and I felt, I don't know, a lot of kinship with it for some reason. I don't know why, I'm from Appalachia, but somehow I wanted to see the people, and in that book they really emphasized the natural beauty of Kenya. And then I just wanted to find out what someplace that was like really different from the United States and really different from places where most people go on tourists, other places in the world like Europe or China or whatever. So this was like a fabulous opportunity. It was like the perfect trip to come with the University of Charleston and with all my friends from there. And so I just wanted to go. And I think I had in my mind this idea that, this was a good thing to do, that I was going to, in some small way, maybe help these people. And in actuality, it turned out they really helped me. And I think I received a lot more from the trip than I left for them, because they just were so generous and such a good example, I think, of the way society should function, and made me kind of see the U.S. as, this is kind of screwy. This is kind of messed up, but I don't know.
As a nursing student going on my second career, I thought that coming to Kenya would be a good experience, and having lots of military experience in the background and traveling the world, I thought that maybe there were some things that I could bring with me from my experiences to bring to the trip, some just growth and development that I would experience from the traveling and seeing a new culture.
The reason why I wanted to come on this trip was because I've always wanted to go to Africa, and then correlating that with graduating the timing was kind of right, plus the whole sports aspect was perfect, and it was just kind of something that I really thought I needed to do before moving on to a job in grad school and stuff like that. My expectations, I can't exactly define, but like everything we experienced, my expectations were way lower. The whole experience just blew me out of the water. Even though we talked so much about the one story of Africa and feeling so terrible for all the poor people in Africa and everything like that in class, it was so amazing once we got here, and everyone's so welcoming and so happy and so giving. Probably some of the most poorest people I've ever met gave me things, and they were so happy and so excited for what we offered and what we gave to them as well, which was incredible. I expected the like our hotels and the baby center to be kind of run down and nasty, just because that's what a lot of people think of when they think of Africa, and they weren't at all. The baby center was probably nicer than my house, and the hotels were really nice too. And as far as the kids, my expectations were pretty accurate with them. I figured that they would be needy, and I kind of expected their uniforms to be a little bit tattered, which they were, but I wasn't expecting how I reacted. The first school, when we drove up, they were like waiting for us, hanging out the windows, waving and stuff like that, and like I honestly started to cry just when we just pulled up. And then they started, there's so many ceremonies here, ceremonies for everything, and they started ceremonies, greeting us, introductions and all that stuff. And a couple of little girls got up and did this poem about how they wanted to be doctors to take care of their teachers and the lawyers and everybody else. And we talked a lot about the girl effect and how much girls getting educated can help the community and just better everything. And I thought that was really important, and it was so cool to see them having dreams to do the same. That, again, made me cry.
Okay. Well, I first heard about the Africa trip when I was talking to my friend Julianne. She and I had gone to Hawaii and the Bahamas with the basketball team. We both like to travel, and we even started these random weekend trips. We even had one planned to Canada, but that didn't work out because we decided to go to Africa instead. So after we finally decided we were both going to do it, it was really exciting because we both wanted to go on safaris, and that's the first thing we thought of when we thought of Africa, safaris. And I said giraffes, she said elephants. So that was just a big plus, is getting to really go to Africa, knowing that we could actually do it. Canada, maybe not. Africa, sure, why not?
I first heard about this trip from another member or group who came on this trip, from Jesse Leisure, who's also a nursing student at UC. And I was so excited about just getting out of the United States and experiencing a culture that was not my own. And I knew the second I heard about it that I was meant to go on this adventure and this journey and to be a part of it. And so without even finding out much about it, I just jumped on in and signed up and told myself I would make it work.
Well, at first, I had said I wanted to go to Africa just because Michelle asked me and was like, "You want to go to Africa?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure," with no intentions of actually going. But then after taking the class and weeks of preparation and fundraising, I really wanted to go on this trip. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to put my money in here and we'll see what happens. And I've always wanted to go to Africa, always wanted to work with the kids there just to get a whole new perspective. I've been in Brazil, South America, Europe, and I've gotten the perspectives around there, but Africa is one of my most wanting to go places. So I was really looking forward to this trip.
Go ahead.
So I wanted to come on this trip because I wanted to get the experience and, you know, help the children and give them things that sometimes we often take for granted. And just to see how they live and just to get a feel of what they go through.